Right, well, you peeps are some video. It's Wednesday the 22nd of January, or 23rd of January, 2020. And this may be my first recording this year, so yeah, I've had a while off, so apologies for that. I kind of, might have felt like I was a bit overworked and didn't have any time to just chill out. So I've had a few days where I haven't done anything and I feel a bit more recharged. In fact, before I came out to record this, I was feeling very antsy, like I hadn't been doing anything. So yeah, so I got some time off. I feel a lot better for it. Well, I think I feel a lot better for it. My YouTube choices have not been inspiring. So yeah. So do I have anything new to say? Well, I watched a few things, listened to Dune again, worked really hard, helped out a friend, all that kind of stuff. I haven't been looking after myself all that well. I'd like to try and give up smoking this week as well, so yeah. And I'm also trying to get my head round a launch for the culture, but since I haven't managed any of that, years, not really managed to do much of anything. So I thought I'd come out for a walk. It's some repetitive motion. It did rain last night. The river's looking quite relaxed. This is our lucky rock. So yeah, I did watch The Messiah, which is a new Netflix series that came out on the 1st of January. That was pretty good. So yeah. It's pretty muddy. There could be lots of people out in the woods. Now the autumn and winter diebacks happened. I can even see the river from where I am. I don't know whether that means that people have been clearing stuff. I don't see any downed trees, so it must be just general vegetation dieback. So yes. And I rewatched Sci-Fi's Dune. I watched a TV series called AJ and the Queen. So yeah, I was a couch potato again for a few months, and I have been largely since about September, if I'm to be honest. I have tried going vegan, and I'm still mostly vegan, although it sort of seems to drift into vegetarian occasionally. So that's all a journey. If only I hadn't discovered the Linda McCartney's quarter-pound mozzarella soy burgers. Those things are going to be hard to give up. Although there is vegan cheese, it's it's not brilliant. It's better. It's okay, and it feels nice when you have a truly vegan meal. But yeah. So out of all of those, I mean, the two things that kind of went together there were Dune and the TV series Messiah, because they both deal with kind of messianic themes. But where Dune has an automatically accepted Kwisatz Haderach, in Messiah it's more your, Judeo-Christian God figure turns up, and wouldn't you know it, everybody tries to kill him. But it was interesting. It's sort of like, if that, they don't really, spoiler alert, answer any major questions that you might have. There's just enough weird stuff going on that you don't know for certain. So yeah. So I recommend watching it. And that gave rise to a thought I had, where I was talking about things that were smarter than us turning up. And it added a fourth category. What if a smarter human turns up, and has the ability to decide what happens with the human race? What happens then? Let's turn this round. Just for a change of scene. Yeah, so what happens if a human being turns up with designs on remaking the world? And all four of those STUs just literally beg the existence of an organisation of people, that would be, if not equipped to deal with the unexpected, but equipped to show the best of humanity. How we've got to where we are, stockpiling information, living as efficiently as we possibly can. So that's still valid. I still would live in that sort of environment, even though it does sound a bit like a cult. There's no way you can explain it where it doesn't sound a bit cultish. So the most important thing is that there is no, can't afford to have a cult of personality. Can't afford, if that organisation builds itself, we can't have one person in charge. We ideally, given that we would have the best and brightest people who had all agreed to sort of do their best to make an alternative lifestyle feasible and, thrive. You can't have any personality cults springing up. Everything would need to be organised in a council of people that were, constantly rotated and, all of the same sort of goals. If your goal isn't to produce a self-sustaining community with a backup of the Earth's information, then you probably shouldn't be there. If you aren't trying to promote, the best things that humanity can do. And the best things that humanity does are where humans work together and see a greater goal. Everything from a cathedral to a starship, and everything in between. Great works of collaborative art. Those things are what make us really stand out as a species. And we need to showcase that rather than all sorts of weaponry we've devised to kill each other and all sorts of psychological weaponry we've developed to imprison each other. So yeah. And as luck would have it, yesterday morning, the Jehovah's Witnesses turned up at my doorstep. They were doing a mass canvassing in the street as part of their ministry, and I whopped that concept on the guy that knocked on my door, and he couldn't get away fast enough because he wasn't interested in everybody being us. He was interested in very much them and us. And that's someone that was desperate to recruit, and he got off my doorstep real quick. It was probably the fastest Jehovah's Witness door knocking I've ever had. It's about 2 minutes. Normally I can keep them there for a good half an hour, but I whopped the concept of the culture on him, and they didn't like it. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. I just haven't really felt like being around people very much, although I'm having more phone conversations and Discord conversation with people than ever before. It was just like actually being around people physically really didn't appeal. So yeah, this is kind of me getting back up. And I'm trying to come up with some stuff for the culture, but I've realised that trying to write anything, trying to put anything down, trying to create any piece of art and expecting to start with chapter 1 might not be something you can do. And I'm aware of the adage, perfect being the enemy of good. And I really want to get to a point where we can look in at the culture that humanity has, where we can get a significant number of people stepping outside and acting as a kind of scout team, sort of step outside world culture and look back. And hopefully, by looking back in on it, we have, we get a better bit of perspective. It's complicated and stressful. So yeah, I grabbed another thing for the STUs, because those things smarter than us. And I watched a lot of television, and I ate many pizzas, and I neglected my workouts. And yeah, I kind of got knocked down by life a bit. It'll do that to you. But when you're watching too many MGTOW videos, and kind of being, investigating the red pill if you're a guy, you need to walk away from that. I don't think that's the answer. I think that's capitalising on people feeling that, life has passed them by a bit. But that's not the Ranger way. So yeah, kind of tired, kind of stressed. I've been working a lot, all kinds of crazy stuff, but nothing too active, and I need to get back into that. Ooh, let's give you something else to look at besides me. So yeah, so I thought I'd put this out there. Oh, and 2 of my computers decided to die Linux wise. One of them died ages ago, but the main computer I use for video editing fell over. And, I want to use some of this time off I've got out of the remaining 5 days to get a workable studio together. So I can start making stuff. For the culture. And if anybody out there feels like they need to do some drawing, I'd really like a culture logo. I am absolutely rubbish at graphic design. I like the idea of a capital K with an arrow at each corner, basically at the end of each leg of the K, symbolising the 4 STUs that we've got now, and 1 arrow going towards the back of the K, to imply that, from the culture that we have, we're spawning something new, And if you if you are doing it, I might have to do it, because I really want to launch the culture by Monday, which would be the 26th or 27th of January. I'd really like for there to be at least a trailer for the culture and a few bits in the can. So I may have to do that ahead of time. But, one of my favourite lines from the Starship Troopers movie is, "Until I die, or you find someone better." That's about the only good thing about the Starship Troopers movie. Go read the book. And, really looking at, I think I'm going to have to go back and listen to Stranger in a Strange Land again as well. I've got an unabridged copy on a hard drive somewhere, because I think the whole idea of the culture is very akin to a religion. And although Stranger in a Strange Land has some amazingly sexist lines in it, they're sexist lines from the 1960s, So it's a bit like not watching a George Bernard Shaw play because it's sexist, or not reading Vanity Fair, or, all that sort of stuff. Writing is of its time, and sometimes in order to get the meaning from something, you have to forgive it for its assumptions. But hey, let's build a culture that doesn't have them. I think it's really interesting that there are a few more female types coming on board with this, and I'm looking forward to rolling out the culture at some of the people I know and seeing how they think about it. But yeah, I think we've got to step outside. We've got to start providing a bit more of our own social media. But honestly, after hearing so many people's conversations about social media and how it's used as a kind of a downfall thing, you know, I'm kind of a little bit worried that we'll just be starting off the whole thing again. Yeah, so it would be nice for there to be less drama in the world. So yeah, so that's about 15 minutes of me wandering around in the woods. So I feel like I've got a little bit of exercise. So, and to answer a couple of questions, especially to Zoo Echoes, no, I haven't started running again, and that's also to Digital Whiskey. Although I'm trying to shape my world so that that happens a lot more. So yeah, maybe tomorrow will be a running day. So yeah, now I've got the camera charged up and sorted out a few things, sorted out the computer I was doing editing on. I'll see what happens. Look, suicidal squirrel near me in the woods, 2 of them. So yes, you can probably see them on that branch or on that tree. I don't know whether you can see that. There's a load of squirrels thinking that they're safe from new vegan me. So yeah, in closing, thanks for watching. Do take care.